Subject tonight is one I've been avoiding for a long time, but I think it's time maybe for me to just voice my opinion. What you're looking at right there is the most famous, maybe infamous, law enforcement shot taken since FBI sniper Lon Harichi executed a woman holding a baby at Ruby Ridge. Now that sounds a little bit pejorative because we all know, anybody with an ounce of decency knows that that shot was absurd and little short of first-degree murder. What we're going to look at tonight, and by the way, this isn't a subject for kids, is a little bit about that shot and one very interesting anomaly. And let's take a look and see if we can find anything new here, shall we? This is a still taken from the video. This is moments after Ashli Babbit has been shot and fallen backwards to the floor. The man in the center of the photograph against the wall is a SWAT officer who was on duty. He was on the scene when Ashli Babbit was shot. Now he knows that there's no protesters on the other side of the glass that Ashli Babbit was attempting to crawl through. He was there. And yet look at his pose, look at his posture. He's responding as though to a potential threat. Now why would a law enforcement officer assume that pose? He's looking for threats from the other side of the glass. At 1/3 speed, there's Ashli Babbit on the ground being looked at. Center top of the picture, the officer we're going to look at next is just coming into the picture. We're playing this now at 1/10 speed. You can see the officer is indicating Ashli on the ground. Now, he's going to do a threat assessment. He's scanning for other threats. He doesn't see any, and look here. He's raising his weapon, pointing it in the direction that he knows there are no protesters. There's nobody on the other side of that glass except protectees. What's he doing? It's appropriate to stop here for just a moment and point something out. I am in no way accusing this officer of anything. It appears to me from the video that this man acted competently and professionally. Granted, I'm not an expert on SWAT tactics, although I know a little bit about weapons deployment and what is and isn't appropriate. What I'm pointing out is what appears to be his mindset. And so, without impugning his actions or his professionalism in any way, let's take a further look, shall we? You see here, he's seen somebody. He's indicating to that person that he's seen them, and he's giving a thumbs up, of a nonverbal all clear, basically. So everything's good in his mind. And so there you have it. Like I said at the beginning, this isn't a big deal. It's a small anomaly. The officer coming up the stairs assessed that the person who'd been shot was not a threat, was being tended to, was aware that the officers behind him had his back, had assessed that there was no chance of a threat coming. He had a wall to this side, so he scanned to make sure there was nothing of an immediate threat there. He had one area left to assess, and that was the other side of the glass. And that's what he did. I would be curious to know who it was that he saw, who it was that he gave a thumbs up. I see you. He was not indicating, hey, it's great, we just shot somebody. He was saying, you're good. Okay. I'm pointing a weapon at you, but you're good. That's got to be a nerve-wracking situation. This cop was placed in a high-stress situation, and my assessment, granted, I'm not an expert, but my assessment is he did well. As far as weapons deployment, it looked like he did well. But if we're going to talk about weapons deployment, this guy. Now, some people have said that this was a negligent discharge. No way. No way. I've looked at the film slowed down to 7.5% of regular speed. He clearly moved forward toward the threat. He moved his finger from the ready to the trigger and deliberately fired. Now, I can't say for certain because I have not been able to locate video that's timed out properly. But from what I have seen, and I could very well be wrong, both of Ashli Babbitt's hands would have been in plain sight as she came through the window. He fired anyway. I'm not sure what protocol he's operating under, but in most police departments in this country, considering what we've been through the last year and a half, 2 years, this would have been scrutinized with great intensity. Now, interestingly enough, these guys, they're not subject to anybody in the outside world, a public looking into them. For reasons of national security, which are probably quite understandable, what they do is a black box. So, for good or ill, what this man did is not only engraved in stone. We will probably never know any more details than we've already got. A gunshot and its aftermath passes into the history books. And the justification, I guess, is in the eye of the beholder.